that circle is an extension of me and the meaning behind it. And the reason it came with me to Pursuit is, one, I love it. Two, there's meaning behind it that is relevant to Pursuit. But three, I'm not giving up the past version of me. Well, I hope you had a great and productive week. It's Friday, which means it's another episode of On Our Pursuit, where I grab the mic for a little bit and kind of ramble about some different things related to your pursuit and my pursuit, and just continuing this thing forward. A little bit of housekeeping before I want to get to explaining this illustration that I just showed you and what it means. So the housekeeping, I usually put these at the end, but what if you don't make it to the end and you miss out on this great information? So a couple of things I wanted to put on your radar. First off, we talked about it last week, but Pursuit now has an Amazon skill. I'm calling it our Wealth Voice. It's powered by our friends over at Wealth Voice, and I believe that Wealth Voice is going to become the Kleenex of voice technology. So what is it? So it is a Amazon, I won't say the device name, Amazon skill where you can tune in to the Pursuit on your device every single day. So Monday through Friday, you're going to be able to get the podcast on there. And if you have this as a part of your morning routine, just enable Life's Pursuit. It will show up in your news, and you can listen to the Daily Pursuit or On Our Pursuit on your device as you're getting ready for the day. So the thought is, rather than you have to wait to get in the car, as you're getting ready, doing your thing, you can listen to Pursuit then. And then the special thing about it is there will be a Soulful Sunday show. It will only be available on the Amazon device. It will not be on the podcast. It will not be on the blog. The only way you're going to be able to listen to it is on Sundays on your Amazon device. So if you're interested in diving more into kind of the spiritual side of the Pursuit, if that resonates with you, then you'll definitely want to check out those episodes on the device. So the only way to do that is to talk to your device and say, hey, enable Life's Pursuit. Or if you go to pursuit.co, you go to the library, you go to the blog post for today's episode, I will have a link to the Amazon skill there that you can subscribe to it, enable it, so you'll make sure you always stay up to that. So one, make sure you activate the Wealth Voice skill on your Amazon device. Two, I want to remind you about the weekly Pursuit. Every Saturday, an email goes out to Pursuit community members that have subscribed to the newsletter. It's new content. It's a combination of some thoughts and some curation designed to help you along your pursuit. Every Saturday it comes out. It ends up going into the vault, which is actually searchable if you know how to find it on the pursuit.co website. But the goal is to get it to you first on the email, and then everybody else can find it later on. So I do make it public. It is hidden. You can't find it on the website, but if you know how to get there, you can get to there regularly. But why not just subscribe to it and get it to your inbox every Saturday? So those end up being 2,000, 2,500 words. But again, a lot of it is curation. I don't know everything. There's lots of things out there. So I share some things that resonate with me, some things that challenge me that may be good to challenge you, but it's all centered around pursuit topics and moving us forward on the pursuit. All right, so that's the housekeeping. One more housekeeping thing. Today is a special day. There are 2 episodes of Pursuit Podcast coming out. This one, and then I also dropped an episode of On Our Pursuit with a friend of mine, Ramona Meyer, who's a financial advisor. It's actually a crossover episode between Pursuit and All About Your Benjamins. The story was so strong, and there was enough on the financial planning side that I felt like All About Your Benjamins audience needed to hear it. But really, I wanted to focus on her story of following her passion and how her why is much bigger than financial planning, and show how your career can be something you have a passion for, but it can be a means to the end to address a stronger passion that you have. So you have to listen to the episode to see what I mean. But it's kind of like how RLS Wealth is a passion of mine, but now RLS Wealth in my life and my career is going to help me with pursuit and growing. And then there's a crossover between the two. So it's really cool. So again, just trying to show different ways that passion can find its way into your life. Then maybe it's not your career, but your career can still be something you are passionate about. Not your highest passion, and it can lead you to being able to have the time or money or ability or voice or platform to go after the true passion. All right, housekeeping aside, let's get to today's episode. So you saw that drawing earlier. I should have worn my shirt with it if I was planning better. And the image, if you haven't seen it or you're listening to it on the podcast, is a Jack Butcher inspired keynote illustration that I did probably 1.5 years, 2 years ago now. So we all know I'm a big fan of Jack Butcher. I think he is a creative genius and a business, his business acumen is off the charts. And I really love his visualized value brand and what he creates, and it inspired me to try to communicate in a similar way. So taking ideas or concepts that I have and then using Keynote, which is like a PowerPoint program on my Mac, to create these illustrations. So it's, very simple shapes, very simple colors, but creates a powerful message. And I originally created that illustration to represent the RLS Wealth planning process. So this was back when I was rebranding RLS Wealth. I had another advisor with me, and the thought was I was going to grow this to be a bigger firm, and that we were going to focus on helping people, basically on pursuit, helping people find their purpose and their passions in life and build their financial plans around that. So that's what that image represented. It's kind of cool because I created it before pursuit was even an idea. Or I guess if we think about kind of time and universe type stuff, pursuit already existed. I just didn't know it yet. I hadn't discovered that was going to be something that I was going to build. But nonetheless, I created this thinking about RLS Wealth. And the original meaning behind the illustration was, let's take where you are today, boxed in by society, living society's norms, bust that box open, rearrange the pieces, and ultimately create a life of greater happiness for you, which is represented by the orange circle. So the orange circle is a version of the RLS Wealth circle logo. And I've talked about that before, but I'll do another episode and probably a blog post about the RLS Wealth circle and what it means and why it has followed me to pursuit. So if you look at the RLS Wealth original logo, the circle is blue, the RLS Wealth is orange. But I got both versions of it, and I like the orange because it popped on the black. So again, the original was the planning process we take our clients through with RLS Wealth is to dive deeper into their why and realize that the life that we're living may not be what we really want. It's not in line with our values. So let's break this box that we've been put in by other people, bust it open, rearrange the pieces, and have a more fulfilled, happier life, which is represented by the circle. And shape-wise, I think the shapes represent that as well. Obviously, the box means you're boxed in. The circle to me is more free-flowing. The orange is happy. So it really represented what I wanted to mean. Made some t-shirts. I think I called it the planning process, and then I called it breaking out. And when I started to call it breaking out is when pursuit was starting to be formed and the idea was growing. And recently I decided, I'm going to take that image and I'm going to bring that over to pursuit, because just like that's the planning process, and it's still what I do and what we do at RLS Wealth, but let's take it to pursuit and tweak the meaning just a little bit. So it's less about the planning process, but still about the freedom, the freeing of you as you go on your pursuit. So again, the box represents the same thing, living this life that's not really what we want to do. Somebody else put us in that box. Society, our parents, other family, friends, not knowing ourselves at a deeper level to really know what it is that we want. Tons of ways we get boxed in. But nonetheless, if you're listening or watching or consuming pursuit content, you've got a little piece of you that is either frustrated with the way things are, unhappy, or there's something more that you want to do, or you've already discovered it and you're on that path, and this just keeps you going. So nonetheless, at some point you understand or you have understood that feeling of being boxed in. You either have or you're ready to get out of that box. So what does pursuit do? Well, through the content, through other things coming down the road, pursuit as the brand is going to help you figure out what it is that would make you happier. What's the interest that could be a passion? You've got the passion. How do you take it to a bigger part of your life? So again, rearranging the pieces of the box that you've been in. And maybe what I could do is change the color some and throw out some of the pieces and bring in some new ones. But nonetheless, rearrange it all and then ultimately lead you to a life of greater happiness, more fulfillment, and truly living the life that you want. Balancing, and this is where pursuit will be unique, balancing the spiritual, the personal growth, the mindset component of going after what it is that you want, figuring that all out, with the financial expertise to make it. So I was talking with my real good friend Derek Grant yesterday, and I've mentioned him a number of times and said he'll be on the show, and he will be. And we were just talking about the ventures we're working on. And he said something that I had said in the past, we probably didn't remember, but it was really reassuring that we were basically talking about, as I continue to grow, pursuit will continue to grow. And we've talked about this before, that I need to focus on my personal growth And because pursuit is an extension of me, by default, pursuit will have to elevate and grow to keep up with my growth and my elevation, which is the same for you. Whatever it is, the thing that you're trying to build, chase, grow, whatever it might be, as you work more on yourself, it's only going to elevate that with you to make it a bigger part of your life, quote unquote, more successful. But he said that the unique area that Pursuit and myself bring to the table is blending the personal growth mindset, spiritual side of things with finance. I said, perfect. I said, exactly. When I describe where I want to go is a blend of Jay Shetty on the spiritual side. I'll never be a monk, and I can't speak to what he's spoken, but I've read a lot and I just have experienced a lot myself, so I can share my own experiences, bring other people in who are experts in the area to bring that side of personal growth to the table. But I've been a financial advisor for 18 years. I'm also not your traditional financial advisor that's going to live by the textbook. I realize that for those of us on our pursuit, we have to think outside the box of planning. Remember, the illustration for today's episode started for financial planning. Not only is it not going to be, breaking my clients out of the box, I'm going to break out of the box of traditional financial planning. There are components of traditional financial planning that we can't ever escape. Cash flow analysis, diversification, thinking long-term, planning, and all that stuff like that we need to do. But the ultra conservativeness of how to plan and build a plan and not taking risk and not thinking outside the box, that's not me as an advisor. So I can sit in this level and I can bring the Jay Shetty side, and then you have Ramit Sethi, who I look up to and respect as far as somebody who has changed the lives of the financial lives of tons of people through his books and the things that he does. Jay's not talking about Ramit's stuff. Ramit's not talking about Jay's stuff, but I feel like I can get in the middle and I can do my own version of talking on both sides for those that Pursuit resonates with. So anyways, I share all that with you just like as where the thought process is going and going behind this. But that image that shows all that. So I've stolen that from RLS Wealth. I brought the circle with me, and I'll explain more about that in the future. The real short story of it is that circle is an extension of me and the meaning behind it. And the reason it came with me to Pursuit is, one, I love it. Two, there's meaning behind it that is relevant to Pursuit. But three, I'm not giving up the past version of me. Just me, the advisor, will exist. RLS Wealth will exist. But the future growth is not going to be growing that side of me. With the disclaimer of, I will continue to grow as an advisor, but not grow that business. I'm not trying to become an advisor to more people. That comes with me because it is a part of me and who I always will be, a part of my past, but it's also a part of the future as well. So I love the fact that logo could come with me. And when you see the logo, the orange version of it is going to represent Pursuit. I'll also use black and white when appropriate for Pursuit. But the only time you're going to see a navy blue version of the circle is when it's RLS Wealth, because that's the way the original logo came from. That's the way you see it on the website. So that'll allow me to use it in both capacities, but for it to be able to be identified. So the orange, I like it because it applied to RLS Wealth, but it also applies to Pursuit. The meaning behind orange, if you Google it, the spiritual meaning and just the meaning in general, tons of adjectives, tons of words. But the ones I really liked for Pursuit is orange represents joy and creativity and encouragement and health and happiness and expression and freedom and change and quote unquote success. Like, those are all things that either I want Pursuit to help or Pursuit represents. And that orange color is just so inviting. And I also think that it's, encouraging was one of the things. It brings a sense of excitement and optimism. And I want that to be representative of the brand. The navy is perfect for RLS Wealth. So nonetheless, a little bit of rambling and off, but that's what image means. I changed the background on a couple of the platforms to represent that. That'll be a logo that stays around for a while. Maybe I'll refresh it over time, but that's the meaning behind that image. And I think it's pretty cool how it started as one version. It still has a very similar meaning, just from a different perspective that's more in line with Pursuit. So that image is busting you out of this boxed feeling, the frustration of not living the life that you want, figuring out what it is, rearranging it all, and then creating a life of more happiness and more fulfillment and greater purpose. So that's it for today. I wanted to explain that image, and then a little bit more insight just to Pursuit and what I'm thinking about as well. Because again, On Our Pursuit is kind of more of almost like a video diary, not On Our Pursuit, the Pursuit. I may have even said it wrong in the beginning because I was thinking about On Our Pursuit. But the Pursuit is more of just a video diary for myself. It'd be cool to go back and look on this. It tells the story of the brand, but also I feel as if you're on your pursuit, there will be inspiration, little nuggets from each of these episodes that will help you just by me sharing what it is I'm going through. We've got On Our Pursuit where we have other people sharing, and then the Daily Pursuit is also just to keep you going. So with that, I'm going to let you get to your Friday. I'm going to go ahead, get ready, get Leo and Silas ready with some donuts. You all know our Friday routine if you follow on social media. Donuts and coffee at our local coffee shop. And just happen to have a good friend, Relationships of Pursuit, who had a client in St. Louis, and he drove over last night just to come spend the day with me. We'll do some work, but just catch up as well. So having great people in your life who support you and want to drive 4 hours out of their way just to spend 4 or 5 hours with you before they head back east to home is pretty special. So look for relationships that in your life and be that type of person that people would want to do that. And I would do that for him as well. So the feeling is mutual on these sides. So with that, I will let you get to your day. Thanks for tuning in as always. Thanks for joining me on my pursuit. It's an honor, and I really mean that. It is an honor to be a part of your pursuit, and let's keep pursuing.